So, good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday night edition of Real Stories from the UK. We have two guys this evening going to share their stories with us, and we have another super gentleman that's going to share about our amazing versions of our technology. This gentleman is the very first person to ever join our company, the Fox Life company. So he's our #1 associate and always will be. And he goes by the name of Kevin Duguay. So Kevin, please introduce some of our products to us, please.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure I'm unmuted. All right, well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be on this wonderful planet. My name is Kevin Duguay. I have the privilege and pleasure of sharing with you 6 different neurotechnologies, and you're going to hear some real stories. And at the end of the day, folks, it's one word that matters. It's called results. That's why it's called real people, real results. So whatever you know, you share. So here we go. So #1, for a couple things. This technology is so beautiful in a couple of ways. First of all, we don't treat, diagnose, and cure. So all of you looking to learn something today, you need to all remember this. The nervous system is the most important system in the body. It's on Google. Why? Because it orchestrates or runs every single system in your body. And we have a slogan that says, a healthy body needs a healthy brain. So these 6 different technologies are going to optimize, remember the word, 6 different neurological networks in your brain. And here we go. So #1, the most important one, because it works on a part of your brain called the brainstem. If you have no clue what the brainstem does, this is what it does. It's responsible for balance, power, stability, stamina, speed, endurance, posture, respiratory function, pain management, to name a few. So we have the technology in different ways. And the beauty with this tech, folks, is you just wear it. Okay, so there's no drugs, there's no chemicals, no pills, there's no batteries, there's no magnets, there's no side effects, just touch. And as the teacher and me, somebody's talking in the background, so please be quiet. That's my teaching days. This is what it is. So here we go. HPT. You can see this patch right here. It's also in an insole. You can see this pattern right there. And it's so beautiful that when your foot touches this pattern, something wonderful is going to happen in your brain through touch. So this is an instant optimization on the brainstem. So it's in thin insole. It's in a thicker insole that you can put in your hiking boots, your tennis shoes. But what's even cooler, you can wear it in a pair of socks. So the socks, you can see this pattern right here. Your nervous system is so sensitive that it picks up this pattern. And because it's the nervous system, it's this. So in under 7 seconds, we'll change how your brainstem functions. So what we see, an instant, and I quote, instant change in your balance, power, and stability every single time, because that's what the brainstem does. So that's the first and most important, because it's like the door, the gates to the, you guys in the United Kingdom, you all know about castles. So it's the front door to the house, which opens up into the brainstem. That's HPT. Comes nice red patch. There's a package right there. #1. #2, for all of you who play sports, I have a saying, that's my background, sports medicine. Defense wins championships. Your defense system in your body is your immune system. If you have no idea about the immune system, frankly, I don't know where you've been living the last 2.5 years, because everybody knows about the immune system now because of, we know why. So I want you to imagine being able to wear a patch, different pattern, works through touch, that optimizes your blood. You may not know this, but your blood is very important because it delivers nutrients and takes away the waste with oxygen, carbon dioxide as an example. It helps everything function better because it delivers the goods. So I want you to imagine helping those 64,000 miles of blood vessels in your body, because the Neurovax optimizes the physiology of the blood. It helps your blood function better. So if you're all about the immune system and building up your body, that's something you may want to look at. It's called Neurovax right there. #2. Number 3, I love this because you need to do this every day. In fact, if you don't, you're not going to make it. It's called the REM patch. And the REM patch, another patch, different pattern, put on 20 minutes before you go to bed, optimizes your sleep networks. So I have a very simple sleep question for all of you on this call. There's only one answer. This is what I ask people. Do you sleep through the night, every night, 365 days of the year? There's only one right answer. Yes. If you're not, there's 2 parts of your sleep, REM sleep and deep sleep. REM sleep is about healing the brain. Deep sleep is about healing the body. If you don't sleep, you don't repair and rebuild. So if you are having some sleep challenges and you are looking for a drug-free, simple, non-invasive, no side effect option to help optimize your sleep networks, you may want to look at this. And we have videos and science and all that stuff for you, for the person inviting you from this call. Number 4, MetaPatch optimizes the brain-gut connection. So if you're all about the gut and gut health and metabolism and energy modulation, etc., that may be the patch for you. MetaPatch, a little bit larger, different pattern, works through the peripheral nervous system, through touch, optimizes the brain-gut connection. Number 4. Number 5, for all of you that are in school, working in business, studying, need to be better focus. We have a sleeve that you wear. This is the newer version. This is the older version, but I want you to see this pattern. This pattern, you just wear it on your arm. Optimizes another neurological network in your brain called the cognitive network. Cognitive network is responsible for memory, focus, calmness, clarity, and anxiety. So if you're having challenges in those areas and you're looking to add something to your wardrobe, that all you would have to do is just wear this on your arm. So it wears on your arm like this. That's all you got to do. And let this help that part of your brain function better. That's number 5. Again, we have information for that. And the last one is a sock called a Boomy sock. And this one's really, really special. First of all, it's got this really nice, simple cardboard recyclable package, but it's called EMT, called Elevated Mind Technology. And it's working on your joy, happiness, and optimism networks, aka your limbic system, through touch. And the neatest thing, the socks is made from recycled plastic water bottles. So imagine that. And when you want to be your best emotionally, that sock, there's the pattern right there. We actually plant a tree. Okay, cool. So it's a lot of give and go, what we call it in soccer. 1 touch, 2 touch. Been there, that's the majority. So on that note, those are our 6 techs. We have 6 of them. They optimize 6 different neurological networks in your brain. The most important one, if you're starting on this journey, is this one right here, called Harmony HPT Neural Patch. Socks, insoles. We also have it in a medical grade compression socks for my practitioners. It's the most amazing compression sock in the market. It has HPT technology and the benefits of medical grade compression. So on that note, and I have an undergarment, but I don't wear it because it's for ladies, but it's like a biking short. Here it is upside down, text on the inside. You can wear it. You decide what works best for you. And now we're going to hear stories from people who had a neurological challenge, were introduced to this technology from somebody. And like I said, you got to remember this. All people care about, folks, my background is sports medicine. They only care about results. Tell me that what I'm going to do is going to help me, because you're going to hear it from these 2 stories coming up next. So on that note, Rosalie Stewart, back to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. That was brilliant. Thank you very much, Kevin. Okay, yes, 2 real stories coming up from 2 gentlemen. And our first guest is Tony Butler, and he's going to be introduced by the lady that shared with Tony all about Vox Life. Just introduce Tony, and let's hear his story.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Good. Well, when I first met him, really, we were talking about health very passionately, and I knew he was very knowledgeable about health, and he was one of the people I thought of straight away. And when I first told him about Vox Life, I remember him saying how fascinating it was. Here we are, about 3 years later. So, Tony, can you tell me your story. First of all, how Vox Life first affected you.
Hi.
Tony.
Yeah. I do remember you telling me about it, and I did think it was a bit sort of like, I'm not quite sure what words you use or how you try to describe it, but you explained it as tech and socks and I thought, okay, whatever. So we went to check it out in Birmingham. Yeah, about crikey, best part 3 years ago, summer 2019, and Rosalie, you after the meeting, you did a demo on me, and which somebody kindly videoed, so I've been able to watch. Yeah, it's a bit of background noise, but I can see the sort of like look on my face. It was and as most of you know, once you've you felt that difference, it's you can't unexperience it and all that. So I got on the stuff, I got on the text straight away, and I got my parents on it straight away because of balance and issues, full risk and stuff like that. So, and to be honest with you, I didn't really think I had a story, because I can know some people have an issue and then they use Vox and it kind of goes away. But then I thought about it's only really since I started working as a postman or a mailman, or however you want to translate that. Because I used to, back in the day, I used to run marathons, ultra marathons and stuff, and after some years, I ended my running, fell aside, and I would be lucky to get out for a walk. I used to go out walking and stuff, and then I realised in recent years, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I had a problem with my foot, and I still don't know exactly what it is. I did Google, and I think it might be something called Morton's neuroma. Don't know, but what it was, it's like a tendon or something between I don't know, the third and fourth toe or something. And after a bit of walking, it gives you grief. And if you're to stamp on it or to roll your foot like that, it hurts. So I used to sort of limit I used to go walking maybe once a week. Well, no, every now and again, usually on a Sunday, but it would cause problems. And it wasn't a big issue anyway. So because of recent events over the last couple of years, my occupations fell away. So I couldn't DJ anymore at the weekends. I had a part-time job at the airport, was travel stopped, so that went. And anyway, I decided to sign up as a part-time Christmas parcel delivery driver with the Royal Mail. That's what I thought I was going to do. What I ended up doing from day one was being sent out with a trolley full of post for miles and miles and miles, delivering post and lots of it. And I thought, crikey, I was really worried in case this problem came back. And strangely enough, it was the least of my worry. It didn't happen. Is that the tech was probably working on that issue without me necessarily knowing it. It didn't. So I'm going from pretty much zero exercise to the first time I clocked it, I did something like 36,000 steps and best part of 16 miles or something.
Wow.
And I felt it, I can tell you that, but just muscles and things sort of settling down. But then I was able to recover and repeat that pretty much like 6 days a week, all through the Christmas before last, so yeah, and I didn't want to be without it. I thought this is good. And I was one of 2 people who was selected they took me on as a postie. So I wasn't expecting that. I thought I'd have a couple of months part-time work. So 17 months down the line, I'm still there. And so briefly, very briefly, and I've become more aware. I thought postman. I thought, what a piece of cake. Walking around delivering bits of paper. I thought that it's a lot more physical than that. And the things occur to me all the time. There's the importance of like balance and strength, and when you're walking around, and trip hazards and all that sort of stuff that people talk about. They're everywhere, from uneven pavements to tree roots to I walked up a driveway and they had these closing gates, and in the middle of that on the ground was a metal bracket sticking up. Of course, you've got this great big pouch full of mail swinging from your neck, and you didn't even see the ground half the time. And you're like, bang, and you're like, whoa. And then you're sort of trying to fight for your balance to stop falling over. And anyway, so I'm really, really pleased with it. And I really wouldn't be without it. And some of my colleagues, there's always people with, there's a lady, a friend of mine who recently was taken on. She fell over the other day and, a few weeks ago, about a month ago, broke a wrist or fractured a bone in her wrist. She can't work, wasn't getting paid because she's not been there long enough. So many, and one of my colleagues, I gave him some insoles because he was having some issues and pain and whatever. So I gave him these issues, and I tried to explain things to him, but he didn't quite take it in. So I said to him sometime later, "How are you getting on with the insoles?" He said, I don't know really. I said, I haven't really had any problems. I said, and I'm thinking, how long for? He said, I don't know, the last couple of weeks. I said, you wear the insoles? He said, yeah, every day. So his kind of problems seemed to go away. He didn't quite make the connection, I don't think. And then just maybe another illustration as well. I was during Christmas time, myself and a colleague were put on a really big round, huge round, about 1,200 properties. And the reason we were given it because no one else would touch it because it's really demanding. And imagine the chaos in the office in the morning when you've got to start doing your own sorting and stuff. So this creature, I think, helped me because you've got to, it's not rocket science, but you've got to concentrate on what you're doing and you're sorting mail and preparing your stuff. And when a couple of my colleagues noticed it and said, "What's that for?" I said, "It's to stop me losing my mind because I need to get this stuff done and get out there and go and do my job." So so I think anybody basically who works on their feet. Oh, in the evenings as well. I do extra duties in the evenings. I'm unloading vans and throwing heavy mail sacks around. And I'm thinking, and touch wood, like haven't had any problems with back or anything, and posture and all these things. So you know what I mean. I think it's essential. So so anybody who basically works on their feet all day or does manual job or a full risk and stuff, I would get some basically.
Absolutely. What a great story. That is incredible because we all have a postie, but we probably don't really think of some of the things you've just mentioned there, Tony, and staying up on your feet is pretty important.
Can I say one thing? If you have one of these probably contemporary, shall we say, doors with a letterbox about 3 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have this long handle that goes up the side, right? And I've joked with people. I said, "What's the long handle for?" I said, "So posties can pull themselves up after they've done their back in." Right. So if you want to tip your postie next year, get him a pair of socks or a pair of insoles or something, right? Because we don't like those letterboxes that high off the ground.
Amazing. That's something I wouldn't have thought of. That's for sure. Oh, Elaine, thank you for introducing Postman Pat to Vox Life. It's amazing to have you, and thanks for sharing all of that, Tony. So let's move across to our second gentleman that's going to share with us tonight, and to introduce Neil is Stuart Holcroft, who's had a nice little break from sharing all the technology tonight. So Stuart, please tell us a little bit about the gentleman that you're going to introduce.
Yeah, thanks, Rosalie. And first of all, thanks to Kevin Duguay for presenting these 6 items of tech. It is great to just take a break up now and again. But I never tire of telling the story, nor do you, which is brilliant. The second thing I'll add to that is that I noticed my postman about a year ago. He was hobbling around, and they all wear shorts, right, postmen, all the time. So he was hobbling around, and I said to him, "Do you know what, Dave? I've been noticing you hobbling around for a while. What's wrong with your knee?" And he said, blah, 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 knee surgery. And I said, "Look, do me a favour, wear this knee brace." So not only did he wear that knee brace, he bought another knee brace as well separately. And I just said, "Do you know what?" He just said that's one of the best gifts I've had from a customer. So I'll absolutely ascribe to that theory of tipping your postman with neurotech. Anyway, next story This was, I'd heard this story from a friend of mine, Rory Woolridge, who sadly is a bit too ill today to come onto the call. Rory met this chap, Neil Williams, at a golf networking event quite a while ago, and Neil had a pretty traumatic experience, which I'll ask him to explain to you now. So assuming that Neil's unmuted now, I'll ask Neil, first of all, Neil, just tell me about how you came to changing your job and the kind of pain that was caused by the accident that happened.
Okay. Thank you, Stuart. Yeah, as Stuart said, I in a previous life I was working for a remedial building company. We used to repair things, and I just so happened to be on for a coffin manufacturer, believe it or not. And whilst I was up there, my foot slipped, and I ended up falling through a 50-year-old Perspex skylight. Went head first, landed on my head, and then everything else kind of followed. I fractured my skull, broke my eye socket, snapped my jaw off. Broke my wrist, broke my back in 3 places, lots of stuff. Several weeks later, and many surgeries, I was back at the hospital, and yeah, on the road to recovery, but sore and stiff and everything else. So yeah, that was back in 2002, and the neurosurgeon basically said to me that I'd probably be in a wheelchair within 10 years of that accident. So that was 20 years ago now, so I'm doing okay. But so yeah, that's where all the injuries came from. Obviously, as you can imagine, the back was the one that caused me the most pain. To be honest, I broke my back in 3 places and had to have like a steel scaffold put in for 18 months and then taken back out. And yeah, on cold days, it would really ache. I had to stop playing football, which I'd done since I was tiny, which upset me, as you can imagine. But ironically, with the neurosurgeon, when I asked about playing football, told me to take up golf instead, which I did. I went on to train to do another job, and ended up in this golf networking group, which is where I met Rory. Rory was already using Vox Life because of his knee, and we got speaking about it. And as you can imagine, with all those things going on, I've tried lots of things. I've been on various different painkillers. I've been on, you name it. I've tried acupuncture. I've tried chiropractors, everything. And in the end, I was taking a lot of painkillers, and I ended up stopping taking them altogether because I would have rather dealt with the pain than constantly having painkillers all the time. So yeah, obviously I spoke to Rory about it, and I was very keen, and ended up getting as much tech as I could straight away because I wanted to try it, to be honest with you. And yeah, it was the first, I'll say the first week was weird, sleeping with the socks on. That I didn't sleep very well for the first week, but once I got past that, it was unbelievable. I had more energy, things didn't hurt as much, and the longer I wore it, the less I felt affected by the things that were wrong with me, if you get what I mean. And then that was during the first lockdown and pandemic and everything. And then as soon as the golf courses opened back up, I got there as quickly as I could with as much tech on as possible. So I went out and just done a practice round on my own. I had a pair of insoles in my golf shoes. I had sports socks on and a sleeve. So I just literally chucked everything on and went out. Shot the best round of golf I've ever had in my life. I wasn't tired. I used to get tired at around the 14th, 15th hole, and yeah, didn't get tired. I carried my bag as a test. Again, I just wanted to see what I could do with it on. So I didn't used to carry my bag because it hurt. I'd get tired around the 14th, 15th hole, but I didn't fall asleep when I got home because I wasn't as tired. And it wasn't until probably 12 months into wearing the tech that I noticed one of the side effects of me breaking my back was that I got some nerve damage in my left leg, which the only way I can describe the feeling to somebody is if when you get pins and needles and then the pins and needles go away, but it still doesn't feel right. It's like feels dead. That's what my left leg used to do. That was if I'd been driving too long, or if I had a long day, or I'd been sitting in a weird position. And about 12 months into wearing the tech, I suddenly realised that I didn't have that anymore. It was very, and I actually mentioned it to Stuart and Rory because it just caught me off guard because I hadn't noticed that it wasn't there. It was very strange. And one of the things about that is more recent, the last couple of months, I've not been sleeping in the socks because I was getting warmer and I was getting uncomfortable. And I noticed pretty much instantaneously that the deadness in my leg had come back. It was very strange. So just goes to prove that if you want the best results, you've got to wear it all the time. If I wasn't convinced before, that definitely convinced me, to be honest. Obviously, I've been wearing it for that long, so I must have known it was working. But yeah, once I stopped wearing the socks to bed and realised that had come back in my leg, I was surprised, to be honest. It caught me off guard. So.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Neil. Thanks very much for that. And yeah, you're absolutely right that those incremental changes that we experience through wearing this neurotech, sometimes you don't notice it. And as Tony said as well, you just don't notice those little things that improve without you realising. And again, for me, it was my memory and my recall, more importantly than my memory. I just didn't notice it. So it's a nice little check that you can find out by not wearing the socks in bed at night, that your numbness comes back in again, and it reinforces the need to wear it compliantly and consistently the whole time. So just before we leave your amazing story, so I played golf with you last year over a particularly undulating terrain up overlooking Chepstow, and I noticed that you were. It was a cold day, and I think your back seized up a little bit when it was just cold. But what did you used to do when you played around the golf, Neil? In terms of medications and taking.
I used to take ibuprofen before I went out. Invariably, when I got back, usually within a couple of hours of getting home, I'd be asleep, and that'd be finished for the rest of that day. And the next couple of days would be, to be honest, it was sore and stiff, and yeah, I'd be very tired for a couple of days, to be perfectly honest. So sorry, the cat's trying to hijack the. But yeah, it's it is a remarkable, and even when I've been out playing, and I've put patches on people just to see their reaction. And I remember back last year, I was playing a 4-ball at a golf course in Cheltenham, and I gave everybody one of these patches to put on while we were playing. And one of the people I was playing with, a lady that really didn't enjoy the golf course normally. She was there for the networking event. She wasn't a big fan of the golf course, and because it always tired her out. It's a very hilly golf course. And she was literally bouncing when we got back. She was like, I need some of these. This is amazing. I could go and play it again. So it's mad. And yeah, some people, it has a massive effect straight away, and you can see it in their face, and others it will take a bit longer, but everybody's different, I suppose. So it's it's interesting to see.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much, Neil. So so in terms of your experience there, I guess you anybody you meet that's in a similar situation, you would say to them, you know what, just give it a try, see what happens. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, Neil, and to Tony as well, and also to Kevin De Guy for giving the tech demonstration. Rosalie, would you like to finish the call?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, Neil and Tony. You know, it's great to hear your stories, but Dr. Mark once said, when you go to bed at night, if you take your socks off and put them, throw them on the bedroom floor, it's like the sort of working potential has all gone. It's just come to a complete stop. It's like the socks have gone on a coffee break and the pattern's not able to do anything for you while they're on the bedroom floor until you put them back on the next day. So why would you do that, And your testimony of have some sort of pain come back, or sort of paresthesia come back into your legs speaks volumes of it. So whatever you do, it's really, really great to sleep in your socks, and everybody should try it, and everybody should do it, because although we say it's not a silver bullet, we don't try to diagnose, treat, or promise to cure anything, but something mighty happens when that pattern is in contact with you as a person, and it never stops. And like Kevin said, healthy body needs a healthy brain. And if we can give the brain the optimum opportunity to do the best it can for us, it will, and it will never, ever let you down. So wear that technology all year round, 24/7, and just enjoy the optimization of all your systems in your body. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's been quite successful being a Thursday. We'll perhaps try it again. We're trying to move the days around to see what helps, so everybody gets a chance to come on these calls. Thank you for introducing your guests, everyone. Thank you, Kevin, very much again, and thank you for coming from all corners of the globe. We've got Canadians on here, Americans, we've got all our Brits. It's been brilliant. So thank you, Stuart, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back and see when UK will be bringing you yet more stories, more real results to take away with you and share with other people. So thank you very much, everyone, and we'll speak to you again soon.
See you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.